Today's video will hopefully teach you that it doesn't matter what you drive, it's how you drive it. This is my home server shoved in a corner. A few years ago, I didn't really know much about building your own NAS or Linux in general or Docker or anything like that, so I threw together a system based around an HP pre-built. This one, complete with a Core 2 Duo, 6 gigs of memory, and some hard drives that I already had laying around. It wasn't much, especially with my pretty basic Open Media Vault setup, but it allowed me to break into home labbing and learn what Docker and stuff was all about. And I eventually started having performance issues, so I upgraded to a Xeon-based quad-core system in a different Dell case that was missing its front panel, but it could fit a micro ATX board. And I zip-tied two 120mm fans in the front. It was janky, but it worked far better than this setup, even though it ultimately ended up being totally unnecessary. I later moved it into this Define R5 case, which still works very well for me. I'll open up the front door and see that the dust filters are still clean. And I added this piece of tape here to keep the light dimmer. But then that board died, so I had to go back to a different motherboard with a Pentium dual core that's in it now. While I initially struggled with performance issues due to the reduction in processing power, I later learned that doing some simple research would have saved me buying that faster system in the first place. By running a single command Docker system prune, I was able to get my idle CPU usage down from 50% to around 20%. Resource usage dropped low enough that the processor could actually enter its power-saving state, saving me about 15 watts at idle, bringing it down to around 45 watts, which is pretty reasonable considering it only has an 80 plus bronze PSU. This new headroom allowed me to add a few more services to it, like a LAN cache, which will cache your game downloads from Steam, Epic Games, and other launchers. So if you have multiple users in your house, it speeds up your game downloads because you only ever have to download the game once. If you ever have to download it again, it pulls from local storage. So while I certainly have my fair share of powerful hardware, it goes to show that when you're learning, getting started, even once you're fairly into it and have added a ton of services, or if you're on a gaming PC and you're gaming, doing some simple optimizations can save you a lot of money on your hardware. Moral of the story, I don't feel like you have to spend hundreds or potentially thousands of dollars to break into anything on PC, because odds are something you or someone you know has in their closet will be a great starting point for you. But I warn you, it's quite the rabbit hole.